Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. So in this video we are going to be making this beautiful handkerchief flare skirts. Okay, so if you're interested in learning this, then kindly keep on watching. Okay, so I have my fabric already. Okay, so the top and the skirt I made use of 3 yards. Okay, so if you are not going to be making a top, then you should calculate how many yards you want. It depends on how full you want your skirt to be. All right, so I'll go right ahead to fold my fabric into 4 because I'm going to be cutting flare. So I've folded it into 2 now. I'll go right ahead to fold it again. Okay, so now I have 4 folds. I hope you understand. You are cutting a flare, so you are going to be folding it into 4. So right now I'm done with that, and I want to calculate the waist part. So I'm going to be using the hip measurements because the skirt is going to pass over the hip when wearing. Okay, so I'm going to be using my hip circumference for that waist part. Okay, so I'll just go right ahead to take my measurements, and then I'll measure it round until I get what I want. I'm using hip 38. Okay, so I'm going to be using 9.5 for that part. I'm going to be calculating 9.5 because that is my hip divided by 4. Okay, so I'm just going to take a measurement and mark it round. Okay, and then I will use my tape rule to measure it right round to see if I have 9.5. If I don't, then I'll have to increase the measurements or reduce it until I get the 9.5. Okay, so I'm measuring it round now. All right, and if I get 9.5, and then that is okay. So I didn't get it, so I'm just going to increase it a little bit. Okay, and then I'll mark it right round again until I get my desired waist. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to share it so others can get to see it. Thank you so much. All right, so I have calculated what I have. Okay, and at this point I got 9.5, which is exactly what I need. Okay, so I'll just go right ahead to make the line more visible. All right, so right after that I'm going to be measuring the length of the skirt. Now take note that this length is the short part of the handkerchief flare. Okay, that short part of the handkerchief flare, wherever you want it to get to, that is what we are going to be measuring here. So I'll go right ahead to measure it round. Okay, so just take your own measurements and measure whatever you have round. Now take note that we're going to be adding a band. Okay, 2 inches band. So if you want your length to be 22 inches, then you are going to be measuring 20 inches right here, and then the remaining 2 will be for band. Okay, I hope you understand. So now I'm marking out the entire length for the short part of the skirt. Okay, I hope you can see the lines. I'm trying to make it very visible for you. So I'm trying to measure out the other part now. All right, so go right ahead and do the same for your fabric. Okay, so that is all done. You can see the line. Okay, I made it more visible, so I hope you can see it. Now the next thing that we're going to do now is to mark out at the opposite direction. Okay, the exact opposite direction of the mid part of that line. You can see the way if you don't understand what I'm saying, just watch what I'm doing. All right, so directly on that line, okay, I'm going to be adding 9 inches to the length right there. Okay, I hope you understand. Directly on that line, the line opposite line facing the mid part of the waist, I'm going to be adding 9 inches. Okay, right there. So I'll go right ahead to mark out the 9 inches extra. So this is for the longer edge of our handkerchief flare. Okay, so just make a mark right there, and then we are going to be connecting. So with a ruler, we are going to be connecting from that 9-inch mark to the flare. Okay, so just connect it to a part of the flare. You are not going to be starting at the extreme end. Okay, just join it to the flare at some point, not too far from the edge. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. You are not going to be joining the line to the extreme end of the flare. just leave some space, and then at some point you connect the line to that 9 inches. Okay, I hope just watch what I'm doing in the video. I hope you understand and can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we have done one part. I'm trying to make the line very visible for you. So I have marked out one part now. So the other side, I will also connect from that line. I hope you can see what I tried to explain. I did not start from the extreme end. Okay, I just joined it at some point to the 9-inch mark, and then I'll go right ahead to connect from that mark also to the other side of the flare, just the same way I did the other one. I'm not going to start from the extreme end. Okay, I'll just join it at some point to a part of the flare. Okay, so this is how you can get the high-low effect of the handkerchief flare. So just go right ahead and do the same thing on your fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut it out, okay, so that you can see the shape that we have. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. I have other videos too that you can check out. Okay, thank you so much. So you can see the way I'm cutting everything out now. So just do the same thing on your fabric, and I will go right ahead to show you the shape that I have at the end of the day. Okay, so this is what we have now. Okay, you can see the edges, you can see how beautiful the cutout is. So I'm just going to open it up and show you what it looks like when you open up. Okay, so you can see how beautiful it is. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing now is to cut out the band. So for this band, I'm going to be cutting out, we use the hip measurement, so that is exactly what I'm going to be cutting out with half 1 inch sewing allowance, okay, on the side. Okay, so we are going to be using an elastic band for this skirt. I have a detailed video on how to make the elastic waistband, okay, but for the sake of those who haven't seen that video, I'm going to go right ahead and still explain it a little bit here. Okay, so if you want the in-depth knowledge, then please watch my video on how to make elastic bands. Okay, so right now I'm marking out my measurements, okay, and then the waist measurement is going to be 2 inches, so it's going to be on fold. So I'm going to be marking out 4 inches, then plus 1 inch sewing allowance, so which is 5 inches. To subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Okay, so go right ahead to mark out your band, okay, and cut it out too. Now this is what I have, and I've gone right ahead to iron it into a fold. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to run extra stitches on this band, because I need 2 spaces for my elastic to pass through. Okay, so I'm just going to run a stitch at the edge and in the middle of this band. So this is done now. Okay, so you can see what I have. So the next thing to do is to go right ahead to pass my elastic into this, and then I'll be sewing it with 0.5. Now this is what I have. You see how beautiful it is, and you can see the line. If you want a detailed video on this elastic band, please check out my video on how to make elastic bands, and you can see that I have gone right ahead to join it. So the next thing to do is to attach this band right round to my skirt. Okay, so I'm going to attach it, and then I will sew it all around the waist measurement. So wherever the skirt exceeds the band, so let's assume that you have excess of the skirt, so just give little pleats on the skirt, all right, and then it will give you a beautiful look. At the end of the day, this is what I have. I hope you love it. Thank you so much.